Zone No Huddle Podcast, a part of the Odyssey Network. I'm Brian Rennick. He's Al Sacco, and we are thrilled, I would say beyond thrilled, to welcome your starting cornerback for the San Francisco 49ers, number 2, Deommodore Lenoir. Deommodore, thank you so much for your time today. How are things going for you?
Everything's going good. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here and happy to just be able to chop game with you guys.
Demo, I got to start. You were a fifth round pick who not only worked your way up the depth chart, but you worked your way to you're one of the better corners in the league right now. I mean, you're durable, you're versatile, you play inside, you play outside, you can play zone, you can play man, you can play the run. I have to ask, can you talk about your development through your eyes and why you think you've been able to keep getting better year in and year out?
It started off with being coachable.
Oh, did we lose him? All right, we had a little bit of a bad connection here with Demo, so we're going to try to get him back here. We were going on and off before we came on the air too, so a little bit of a bad connection. Hey, this is live stuff. For the pod, we can edit this, but anybody watching right now, I'm sorry. We'll try to get Demo right back on here.
Oh, there was a little bit.
Yep. See if we give him a minute. But yeah, Demo was talking about his game here. And, when I was doing some research on him, Brian, I was reading in the Super Bowl. He was the highest graded player on the run in the Super Bowl. Demo just signed out
against the run.
Come right back in against the run in the Super Bowl. Yeah. So he had an incredible Super Bowl, and he was the 7th highest graded player in the Super Bowl the whole way through the whole game or whatever. So he allowed just 60.67 yards per coverage snap. And also contributed to a pair of coverage stops. So he had a great game. All right. So we're going to give him a couple more minutes here to get back on, and hopefully we can get him back on here. Here he goes. All right.
Oh, there we go.
All right. All right, Demo, we got you back, bud. All right. So go ahead with saying now. You said being coachable.
Yeah, I was saying being coachable and really able to lock in on the details, and play every technique and just put it into my ability and trust it. It was kind of me, dial in with the coaches, I would say, just actually putting that trust in them that they was really coaching me right, the right techniques, and then applying it to the field.
And you told the story too on Richard Sherman's podcast. I think it might have been in your second season where you weren't even sure if you were going to make the team. And you had a joint practice with, I think it was the Vikings against Justin Jefferson, right? And that was a time when you were really able to shine. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah. So my second year, we had drafted, I believe, I want to say 2 corners coming in training camp. So I kind of figured it was going to be like a battle. I never shied away from the competition, but I kind of knew it was going to be a battle. And, kind of when you got draft picks, they always make the team, just to get that year of development and a shot. So I knew it was going to be tough coming in. So I that was kind of like my growth year, I would say, just within the NFL and trying to be one of those dominant players. Um, so that year, I really focused up, locked in. I moved to Arizona. Um, that's when I had my son. He was about, I want to say, 5 months old, and then I really just locked into the film, and I kind of was just studying film that whole off season, and put myself in every call, and that's how I just started calling the game, and then eventually everything slowed down for me, and I was able to come out and make plays and play fast.
Love it. I know that there's quite a bit of difference in technique and even sometimes mentality when you go from inside to outside or outside to inside. Again, your versatility, I think, is one of the strengths of your game. If someone were to ask, and I'm about to, what do you prefer to play outside? Do you prefer to play inside? What is it about those two positions that really call to you?
I would say outside, because outside I see the game different. I started being an outside corner,
Mhm.
so uh, just being able to really apply myself there, and I start really studying there, and then it started slowing my brain down, when I was going on the field. So I just seen the game way much faster. But now that I have played nickel for 2 years now, well, this being my second year,
Mhm.
getting a shot at it, I felt like that didn't slow down too. So now it's looking like I'm a totally different player. But really, I just kind of honed in on the details and really just applied myself.
And Fred Warner called you a top 2 DB in the NFL. And I mean, that's high praise coming from Warner. Do you believe that you're upper echelon now? And do you think you're starting to get the credit that you deserve maybe around the league? Niners fans love you. I don't know if you know that or not, but you're a huge fan favorite. Niners
Yeah.
fans absolutely love you. But do you think you're starting to get the credit around the league now that you're one of the top corners?
Yeah, I believe I'm starting to get that credit, especially like after the Vikings game, I didn't talk to Stephon Gilmore, and he gave me high praise and tell me he been watching me. So that was a kind of like a moment for me where I was like, oh wow, it's starting to come alive. He was the defensive player of the year before, and like one of the top corners in the league. So if he noticed in the game, everybody else got to be noticing. Because I mean, real good players in the league only respect good players. So for him to come up and he ain't have to do that, but that's just much respect to him.
Yeah, we see in the chat here, comments. Demo's been my favorite player to watch grow. Stick around, bro. Another one, if anyone deserves a bag this offseason, it's Demo. I know that you grew up in the LA area during a time that LA didn't have a team. So as you were growing up, who was your squad? And when you got drafted by the 49ers, did you have any kind of idea about the fan base? And how do you feel about Niner Nation now?
So growing up, I was a Falcons fan because of my older brother. Well, that was his team. Well, one of my older brothers, my oldest brother, he passed away when I was 12. His team was the Niners. So when I got drafted, that's why I
That's
had made
awesome.
that post and stuff. With him being in the slide and him wearing the Niner hat. But my one I got a set of twins brothers, and he was my older brother. So his team was the Falcons, and he used to always play with Mike Vick. So I was real young watching him on the game playing with Mike Vick, and then I would see like he would like show me little stuff on YouTube. So that the Falcons had became my favorite team. And then it was kind of crazy that to hear that Kyle was actually the OC and stuff around that area.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it was just crazy how that turned out. But about the Niner fans, I didn't actually know that like the fan base was like this high and this crazy, like
Yeah, we're
and
nuts.
that yeah. So just being here through my years, I didn't seen the bad and the good. So right about now I'm on that good side, so I'm seeing a lot of love, and I didn't know it was like that. So it's a great feeling, just to go to a away game and then they packing out, selling out. All you see is red. So that
Yeah.
it just be a great feeling. It make you feel like you're at home, even though we're away.
You know what? You're in your fourth year and you still feel like you're one of the young players. But when you look around the defense, there's a lot of new faces, a lot of young guys, and all of a sudden you're a vet. You're a guy that's been around. Do you see yourself now more as a leader of the defense, or you just kind of go out and try to lead by example and do your thing?
I kind of took that role of trying to be a leader, still setting things by example, but also trying to add some voice in there, and be vocal and just try to take a little bit off Fred, because a guy like him, he never shies away from the competition. He always, being the standard and always being deliberate, always on the details, and it shows up in games, as you can see. So just anything I can really take from him and just try to mimic him, I know that I'm on the right path. So that's why everybody always tell me like, you and Fred play fast, like it don't look different, because it's really comes down to, him, like just being how deliberate he is, and trying to show the young guys how to actually be a pro.
Demo, this is the third year in a row that you've had a different defensive coordinator. You had D'Amico Ryans, and then last year with um, Wicks, and then sorry, I forgot his Wilkes. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then this year with Brandon Staley coming in from the outside, but Nick Sorensen kind of coming up into an internal promotion role. Is it difficult to go into each season knowing that you've got new guys kind of calling the game, or is it nice having Sorensen there because you guys are used to who he is and how he leads meetings and things like that? Has it been a tough transition, or do you feel like it hasn't been and you guys are kind of on the precipice of really getting back to where you guys were, in previous seasons?
Yeah, I don't really think it's difficult. I just feel like, you just got to get accustomed to a different person calling the game now. So I believe in making the calls come to life. You know what I'm saying? It he's never going to call a great call or a bad call. Like it's up to the players on the field to make the call actually come to
Mm.
life. So I believe it's that, and I know like people is saying like he got to be better and stuff, but like it all start with growing pains. Everybody ain't just coming out just giving the greatest calls and being the best person right away. It takes time. It's a long journey, and that's kind of what I told Nick after Minnesota game. I was just saying like it's gonna be a long, like it's gonna be a journey. It ain't gonna be perfect every time. Like they get paid to make plays too, and
Yep.
they OC and DC. They get paid to call the right, to give a great call. And sometimes that call might work. So I just think it's just a growing pains.
Yeah, and it's natural, with any new DC, you guys got to kind of see what he does. He's got to see what you do, and it takes some time for sure. You
Yeah.
talked about training camp. You felt like you were having your best camp ever. Are things now in year 4? Is it starting to slow down for you a little bit? Are you seeing the game differently just with all the experience that you have and all the big games you've played in? I mean, you've played in so many big playoff games.
Yeah. I think it's with the knowledge of the game. I'll be around like I actually learned how to really play nickel, like just listening to, my DB coach actually talking to meeting, and he was coaching up like other guys and stuff. Cause I was, at the time when I first got here, I was just playing nothing but corner. So I would just still like hear like little stuff like, run fits and your buzz drops and your landmarks and stuff. I was just like just listening to it, but he used to repeat it so much. So it kind of like stuck in with me. So then when it was time for my time to really play nickel, like I already had that stuff down. So because it's because I heard it so much. So I would just say, just give a big shout out to Coach Bullocks on that, with helping me, actually, develop into a nickel, making sure my run gaps and stuff is right, and just making sure that I'm able to handle it mentally.
One thing that's that we see a lot from NFL players, and we'll end with this before we get you on out of here, Demo. Again, thank you so much for your time. But a lot of
Appreciate
them like to diversify when it comes to their interests, and we know one of your interests is fashion. Lots of shots of you coming into the stadium, being one of the better dressed guys on the team, and I know that you also have your own kind of signature fashion line that people can find at officiallenoir.com. What
Yeah.
kind of got you into fashion, and where do you see this going for you in the future?
It really started with me being like a sneakerhead. Like I love shoes and stuff. So I always loved shoes when I was like growing up. I was just never like, I was unfortunate, to not be able to buy every shoe. But like if I could, I would have. But it started with that, and I just wanted to start putting it together, with the clothes, because I was seeing like my rookie year, I was seeing like Debo, Trent, all these guys coming in with these nice clothes and shoes and stuff, and it was like I was always like, when I make it to that, later on in my contract and my uh years, I start up in my fashion, just because I know that's like, that's kind of like, business attire, and what people like to see, before the game, just how you look and stuff. And it was very important to like the people around me. So I was like, you know, this is, this is something that can possibly, help me. So that was just like my other fashion like type ideas and stuff.
Demo, we're really looking forward to talking to you this season. Good luck this weekend against the Patriots, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Demo. Deommodore Lenoir, thank you again. Thank you guys for tuning in. Al and I will be back tomorrow to preview that game against the Patriots. But until then, for Al, I'm Brian. Later.
Yeah.